Hello and welcome to the Godot PBR Mastery series. In this episode, we'll learn about height blending. We'll turn a flat material blend into a realistic layered surface using height blending. Height blending is a technique that uses height maps to blend materials. This results in realistic blending, where the materials appear to sit on top of one another, compared to a smooth fade with linear mix. A height map is a grayscale texture that represents surface depth. It stores the bumps and cavities of a surface as a grayscale value, where gray is midpoint, black is lowest point, and white is highest point. Height maps are used for normal map generation, vertex displacement, parallax mapping, and in our case, height blending. We need to add a new material to blend with our existing material. Each material will have all its parameters in separate groups. We can create subgroups within each group. Any parameters under it will be stored in that group or subgroup. Let's rename our existing materials uniforms and variables with a suffix. Duplicate everything and rename for material B. We can use search and replace to rename all variables from A to B. Each material will also need its own UV controls. We need to sample the mask texture that will be used to blend the two materials. Also create a float variable named mask. We'll use this variable as the mix factor. Assign the mask texture to the variable. We can use the mix function to blend two values. This function mixes or linearly interpolates between two values, which is why it's also known as the LARP function. The mix function has three parameters, a, b, and t. A and b are the values being mixed, and t is the mix factor. If the factor is 0, it will return a. If it's 1, it will return b. If it's 0.5, it will return an average of a and b. Let's blend our two albedo textures first. Use the mix function and input both albedo textures. This gives us a blended material, where material A is in the dark parts, while material B is in the white parts. Let's blend the rest of the textures. Now we have two materials blended together, but the blending is smooth and unrealistic. This is where the height blend function comes in. We can use it to generate a natural mask based on the height maps of the two materials. This function compares the height values of both materials and generates a mask where the higher surface appears on top. This mask controls where the second material appears. We can control the mask amount using the height offset parameter and sharpness using the contrast parameter. Let's create the height offset and contrast parameters and put them in a group. Let's create a float variable to store the height blend mask. Call the height blend function and input the height maps. First input is the base material's height, and the second one is the top material's. The mask texture goes in the mask parameter. We can set the value to 1 if we don't want to use a mask. We need a smooth mask texture for height blend to work correctly. If the texture is too sharp, there won't be enough area to create a natural blend. Let's replace the sharp mask with a smoother one. This gives us a natural mask where the material on top sits in the crevices of the bottom material. If we want the top material to sit on the bumps of the bottom material, we just have to invert the height map of the bottom material. We need to add a 1- expression before the height map to invert it. Now the top material sits on the bumps of the bottom material. Let's turn this into a toggle parameter. Add an invert height bool uniform. We can use this to mix between regular and inverted height. When a bool is false, it returns 0. When true, it's 1. When invert height is false, it will return the regular height. When true, it will return inverted height. We just need to convert the bool to float. To control the effect of the mask, we can add a mask level parameter and add it to the mask variable. This shader is available in my Patreon.